Sands inbounds it. Once again, they lead at 37-33. Richards and Clay back on for Grady, each playing with 4 fouls. Near steal there by the Wildcats right away. Start the fourth quarter, and City Bear fires a long three from the top of the key. No good. Rebounded by Jimenez, and he gets fouled. It'll be a loose ball foul against Ackerley Sands. And that's going to be the 9th team foul, so it'll be 1-and-1 time for the Wildcats. The Wildcats are going to have to make their foul shots. If they can do that, they may have a shot at coming back in this one. They're only 6 out of 9 through 3 quarters. Grady's only shooting 30% for the game. Sands at 36%. And Thomason picks up another foul, and I believe that's going to be his 4th foul, if I'm not mistaken. First one's up and in by Jimenez, makes it 37-34. Well, they've got Thomason scored for 3 fouls, but he should have 4. We'll see what it is. Second foul shot is up. Rims around, no good, so it stays 37-34. Thomason with the ball. Sands now back on offense very early here in the fourth quarter. Thomason indeed has 3 fouls. 3 fouls also for Michael Gomez. That's who the foul was called on. And now a ball, bad pass, and the Mustangs trying to get it. Timeout being called for desperately by Thomas, and he actually does not have the ball in his hands, but he's laying on top of it like a receiver trying to recover the ball. They will give Sands the timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout. And that 7-0 run that gave him the lead in the first quarter has held up since. Back to action now. Mustangs will inbound it underneath the Wildcats hoop. It's now rebounded out, or thrown out to Ware. Ball being worked around now to Gomez. Gomez inside of Thomason. Runner. Shot is up, no good. And rebounded by Uzi San Juan in the corner. Gets it stripped out of him out of bounds. Actually, it was a good thing it was stripped, because that will let him have a better chance to inbound it. Substitutions coming in all over the place. Zeke Clay will check back in. Again, he's playing with 4 fouls. Richards is still on the floor. Also checking in are Brett Glaze, E.J. Rodriguez, and Ivan San Juan. Gomez will check out for the Mustangs, being replaced by Preston Zant, as Richards will take it up the 10-second line. Coming up on a minute gone by here in the fourth quarter. Richards wanting to let a long one fly for 3, but he decides to pull his dribble back at the top of the key. Still looking to let it go. Now he does. Boom for Branson Richards. What was a 14-point game for Sands is all gone. We are tied at 37, 6:47 remaining in regulation. And wow, this game is getting to be pretty interesting right now. Defensive calls behind me for Lenore Grady. This would be a devastating loss for Sands. They led by 14 about 7 minutes ago on the game clock, and it's all gone. Now it's worked around to Preston Zant to Thomason. Thomason court pass to Ware inside to Blagrave. Blagrave's shot is up and in. Richards tried to contest it. Then he took his hand down to avoid picking up his 5th foul. So that will temporarily give Sands the lead at 39-37 with 6:08 remaining in the contest. Sands has not led, or excuse me, Grady has not led since it was 5-4 early in the contest. Whistle, timeout, Lenore Grady. Well, now the officials are going to say no, they will not let him have it. A sweat stain on the court. 6:01 remaining in the contest. Again, those of you just joining us, Sands led this game 35-21 at the 4:52 mark of the third quarter. And in the span of, as I do my math right, in the span of about 6 minutes, the Wildcats use a 16-2 run to grab the lead. The Mustangs, though, with a basket just a moment ago to get the lead back at 39-37. And now Ivan San Juan will get ready to inbound it. Trying to get it to Richards. Richards finally gets it. He's pinned against the timeline. Might have been better served just to step into the backcourt before he picked up the ball. That way he'd have more of the court to work with. Richards driving around, pull-up jumper over Thomason. No good, but he gets fouled by Caleb Thomason. And now the top player for Sands, I believe that's his 4th foul. No, they're going to instead give it to Preston Zant. That's his 3rd foul. So both teams are getting badly into foul trouble here with 5:52 remaining in regulation. Richards' first foul shot up and in. For Richards, that'll be point number 17 for him. And now, chance now to try to tie the game up, 39-38. Richards with it. The Mustangs are now over the foul limit, so 2 shots the rest of the way. Richards gets it to go. We are now tied at 39. Again, Clay and Richards been playing with 4 fouls basically since the early stages here of the second half. Ball now worked around to Junior Rogers. Rogers floats inside, swatted away by Richards, but Rogers gets it back. Thomason getting double teamed. Again, Thomason, he's playing with 3 fouls. Over to Junior Rogers now on the near side. Ball floated in. Thomason back out to Hayden Ware. He's playing with 4 fouls. Whistle, and a travel against Ware. And now turnovers. That's turnover number 16 for Sands, as Jimenez, Polson, and Uzi San Juan will check back in to replace Glaze, Rodriguez, and San Juan. 5:27 remaining in regulation. Could we have overtime here? You know this is going to be an instant classic, especially if you're a Wildcat fan, if they come back to take the lead. Wildcats led 3-2 and 5-4, have not led since. Richards around to Clay. Clay trying to drive on the near side, trying to float inside, throws up a terrible shot, didn't even get to the rim. Rebounded by Thomason. Thomason pinned against the baseline. Moves it behind his back to Ybarra, and Ybarra bringing up the 10-second line, down to 5 minutes even remaining in regulation. Ybarra around inside of Thomason. Thomason nearly loses it. Now he gets double teamed, almost travels. Now it's going to go to Hayden Ware. Fires for 3, way short from the 10 o'clock position. Richards with the ball. Now a chance again for the Wildcats to take the lead. On coast to coast, floats it to Clay, off the glass and in. And the Wildcats have completed the comeback. They now lead at 41-39, 4:38 remaining in regulation. A huge run by Lenore Grady to get back and take the lead. Again, the Wildcats beat Sands twice this year. This would be a very devastating loss for the Sands. Ybarra floats it in. Shot is up and in. We'll tie the game at 41, but now the Wildcats have the momentum. And you feel like the Mustangs have been trying for the last 10 minutes to get the 5th foul on Clay, and Richards have not done it. Clay now pull-up jumper from the near side, no good. 2-on-1 break the other way, pushed ahead to Rogers. Cannot hold it, or else he would have had a clean layup. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by the Wildcats. 4:01 remaining in regulation, as Gomez and Staggs will check back in, replacing Blagrave and Rogers. And checking back in for the Wildcats will be Glaze, Rodriguez, and San Juan, replacing Jimenez, Polson, and the other San Juan. Sands will inbound it from in front of their own bench. Thomason with it. Under 4 minutes to go in regulation. Crowd continuing to grow here. Good luck trying to find a parking spot here. Pull up for 3. Ybarra can't get it to go. Rebound. Gomez up and in. And now Ackley Sands has regained the lead at 43-41. 3:43 remaining in regulation. And now the lead's going back and forth, as Richards will bring it up, leave it off for Clay. Now to go back over to Richards. Richards on the far side. He's going to slow it up. 3.5 remaining. Fires a long 3, way off the mark. And it goes out of bounds, as Ivan San Juan could not save it. And Sands has managed now to regain the lead. That run, by the way, to give the Wildcats the lead was a 20-4 run over the span of a full quarter plus 14 seconds. That would be 8 minutes, 14 seconds. The Mustangs have recovered and have gotten the lead back now, 43-41. As Ybarra being guarded by Ivan San Juan right at the top of the key. Whistle timeout. Billy grumbles with 3:12 remaining. We'll see if he's going to take a full or a 30, as he has both of them left. As we come back to action out of that 30-second timeout. Sands with the ball. Gomez inside of Thomason. Shot is in and out. It was about 3/4 of the way down, but would not stay. Rebounded by Brett Glaze for the Wildcats. Now Clay going to try to go all the way. Now he's going to go to the near corner. Leaves it off for Ivan San Juan for 3. A little bit offline from the 5 o'clock position. Rebound Thomason. Reach-in foul is going to be called against Glaze. That's his second. 2:53 remaining in regulation. And that'll be his second foul of the contest. He's going to check out. And the line substitution again, as Jimenez, Polson, and Uzi San Juan will check in. Ball inbounded now to the Mustangs. It goes to Staggs. It's Glaze, Clay, Richard. Well, we'll update that in a second. Thomason, Ware, Gomez, Ybarra, and Staggs for Ackley Sands. Ball pushed up to the corner. 3-pointer. Way off the mark from the near side. Michael Gomez with it. Rebounded by Jimenez over to Branson Richards. Richards trying to go coast to coast, trying to tie it up. He hands it off to Polson, just a little bit too far out of his reach. Turnover out of bounds. Sands will have it back. 2:33 remaining in the game. Again, it's a 2-point lead for the Mustangs from Ackerley, Texas. Ball being worked up now by Bert Ybarra. Ybarra with 8 points in the contest. Pushed ahead quickly to Thomason. Ball's going to be held. Possession arrow. We can't see the arrow from our side. So it's going to be a turnover. It'll go over to the Wildcats. Preston Zant will check back in, replacing Gomez. 2:22 now left in regulation. It has now gotten to standing room only here. There's still some seats left, but they're standing pretty deep. I can see the Sand side across from us. I can't see behind me the Grady side from our angle, but I guarantee you they're about as filled up as the Sand side. Richards trying to drive inside, trying to tie it up, whistle and a reach-in foul, and there's a Mustang down. Foul will be called against Ybarra. That's his second. And there's a Mustang down. That might be Preston Zant, and you don't want to speculate what it is, so we'll wait and see what the injury is with 2:10 remaining, 43-41. Sands leads it. By the way, Preston Zant did go up and get off on his own power, but now he's gone to the locker room. Jared Staggs is back in. Shot is up, no good. We're tied now at 43. 1:52 remaining in regulation. Sands with 2 full timeouts remaining. Grady with 2 fulls and a 30. The Wildcats have a foul to give. Richards with the ball, chance to give them the lead again. Timeout going to be called by the Wildcats with a minute 40 remaining. The game tied at 43. As we come back to action now, the Wildcats will inbound it on the far side. It'll be inbounded from Uzi San Juan over to Branson Richards. We're still tied at 43, getting all choked up here because of the drama here. Winner goes to Austin, the loser goes home. Zeke Clay, pass inside to Polson, has it too far underneath, and he can't get it to go. It hit the underside of the rim. Whistle and a travel against Ybarra as he was trying to get away from the Wildcats. And now it'll be another turnover. Turnover is now 18-8. Sands with the 18. Richards with 20. Clay with 13. And now the ball is going to be inbounded to Jimenez. Back over to Richards. And then their corner fires for 3. A little bit too long and off. Rebound and a whistle and a foul going to be called against the Wildcats. They had a foul to give with 1:18 to go. It'll be called against Uzi San Juan, his second. And Rodriguez will check in to replace Uzi San Juan. Now Junior Rogers will check in, replacing Jared Staggs. Now we're going to get a lot of situational substituting. 1:18 remaining in regulation. Ball going to be inbounded now from Gomez to Junior Rogers. And this is going to be a very interesting last 60 seconds. Rogers floats it. Thomason nearly loses it. Now the ball is squirting all over the place. Whistle, and was it a foul going to be called? Well, they're going to say it went out of bounds as Rogers stepped on the out-of-bounds line. It looked like the official was going to put his elbow up to say it was a charge. Staggs will check in for Junior Rogers. Down to 68 seconds remaining in regulation. Still tied at 43. Who's going to go to Austin and represent the area, and who is going to go home? Wildcats will inbound it. Richards will walk it up slowly. Now he's over the 10-second line. He's going to wait. Call play out. 1 minute remaining in regulation. Potentially going to overtime. Zeke Clay with it. Now back over to Richards. Back over to Zeke Clay. They're going to hold the ball, waiting for what they want to have their best play. Richards now with the ball. 43 remaining. Could they drain the clock and hold it all the way down for one last shot? In high school, there is no shot clock, so they can do that. 35 on the game clock. Still on the ball is Richards, down to 30 on the game clock. And Grady still has a full and a 30 timeout if they need to. Down to 22 on the game clock. Looks like this will be the final possession of the game, at least for Grady. And Richards is still holding it. Thomas Clay's looking at him, telling him what he wants him to do. Down to 10 seconds to go. Down to 9, down to 8, down to 7. Richards makes his move, going to the foul line, kicks it inside to Jimenez, in with 1.4 seconds left. And time has expired. Did Sands get the timeout, though? Jimenez with his first field goal of the contest. The officials are going to get together. There is no time remaining. And it looks like I would be surprised if Sands did not get the timeout in. It's 45-43. Jimenez gets the shot off, and we are going to have time put back on the clock now, as the official supervisor from Beaumont is now at the scorer's table, as Sands uses 1:08 off the clock, and they're going to reset it to 1.2 seconds remaining, and Sands is going to call timeout. Wow. Well, 2 seconds even remaining. 45-43. Lenore Grady has it. Jimenez took the pass, got it from Richards. So 2 seconds remaining, and we may have an exchange of timeouts here. The officials did a great job, got together. You would be stunned if the last 2 seconds would have run off without Sands calling a timeout. So we're going to keep it here now. 2 seconds remaining. And the Mustangs, who at one point led by 14, now trail it by 2, but they will get a chance to be able to get one more shot off. With 2 seconds left, that is enough time to catch, dribble, maybe even make a pass, and then fire one up again. The WBI Sports post-game show will follow this game. We will have the trophy presentations to the winner and the runner-up. The all-regional team will be announced. And somebody's going to lose a heartbreaker here. We come out of the timeout now, as Sands has one full timeout remaining. The Wildcats do not have a foul to give, and they're going to have to go 94 feet. But again, it's enough time to be able to throw a long pass and catch and shoot. Let's see if Thomas Clay wants to use one of his 2 timeouts remaining to set his defense. Does not look like he will. And they are not going to guard the inbound shooter, which means Mustangs have a chance to try to roll the ball up like a bowling ball. Ybarra's going to inbound it, trying to find it to somebody, and now it's actually hand off to Thomason. Thomason gets fouled, ball is up, and that's it. The game is over. And Lenore Grady, for the 3rd time in 8 years, is going to the state tournament, as Thomason could not get a shot off. A shocking come-from-behind victory for Lenore Grady. Heartbreak for Ackerley Sands. Heaven for Lenore Grady. The final score, Lenore Grady 45, Ackerley Sands 43. Michael Jimenez, the hero for Lenore Grady. Just an incredible finish to this game, as they use the 14-point comeback, and they come away with victory.